please take your seats. One important announcement, the restroom is out the door over here and to your left, and there's a code that's posted on the door that will let you in. So, you may be wondering, who am I? My name is David Schmidt. I'm the San Francisco and North Bay coordinator of the California Clean Money Campaign. Sponsor of the California Disclose Act, passed in 2017, and this year the Secure the Vote Act, AB 1784. It's great to see you all here to support a secure, transparent, publicly owned vote counting system, because the future of democracy depends on it. We have some wonderful speakers here today, and after we hear from them, we'll talk about how you can help pass a Secure the Vote Act. But first, I'd like to start off by thanking all of our co-sponsors of today's event. Co-sponsors include California Association of Voting Officials, California Common Cause, Contra Costa Move On, the Democratic Club of Silicon Valley, Endangered Habitats League, Fair Vote of California, Hard Enough LGBT Democratic Club, Money Out People In Coalition, Money Out Voters In, Older Women's League, Progressive Democrats of America, California, San Francisco Latino Democratic Club, San Mateo County Democracy for America, South Beach District 6 Democratic Club of San Francisco, Voting Rights Task Force, Wellstone Democratic Renewal Club, San Francisco Tomorrow, and Represent Us East Bay. And now I'd like to introduce our Master of Ceremonies for this event, the President and Executive Director of the California Clean Money Campaign, a familiar face in all the state capitol offices of all 120 state legislators, Brent Lang.
Thank you, everybody. Give David Schmidt, our San Francisco coordinator, a big round of applause and keep it going here in San Francisco for us. Thank you all for coming here today on such a glorious day in San Francisco for one of the most important issues of our times. Of course, California Clean Money Campaign works on many issues, especially with campaign finance reform, to get big money, big secret money out of politics. But even if we get big secret money out of politics, we have to make sure that every single vote is counted, and that means publicly owned, open source, paper ballot voting systems. So we've got a lot of great speakers here today. So without further ado, I want to bring up one person that has been a true champion with passing the California Disclose Act, helping us get support at all sorts of national levels. And she's also been a long champion for open source. Please give a big round of applause to Christine Pelosi, the chair of the California Democratic Party Women's Caucus.
You know, I posted about this event on Facebook. Hello, Facebook. And you're being live streamed, so behave or not, as you see fit. David Chu, Malia Cohen, Rob Bonta, you know what this issue is about. You know how important it is that your voters feel confident in the message you're sending them. They know who's paying for it, and they know that when they vote for you, that their vote will be counted as cast. That's pretty basic because you're all committed to democracy. But believe it or not, there are many people out there who don't want that. And I'm going to tell you a little story that we're going to talk about in the Women's Caucus meeting 3 weeks from today at the Democratic State Convention, June 1st. We're meeting in the Moscone Center very early, 7:30. Our coffee is sponsored by Planned Parenthood, and we're going to talk about what's happening in Georgia, because what's happening in Georgia could be soon happening here if we don't win this election in 2020 and make sure that we keep hold at least of a semblance of a Roe versus Wade majority on United States Supreme Court. Because you see, in Georgia, there was a woman running for governor, Stacey Abrams, who was building the New American Coalition of people from communities of color, people from underrepresented communities. And you know who was auditing the vote, monitoring the vote, stealing the vote, suppressing the vote, and running against her? The guy who's now the governor. And what did he do? He signed a 6-week abortion ban into effect. And what does that mean? I was telling Malia when I was in a hot yoga class 10 years ago, I passed out, I went to the doctor, it turned out I was 5.5 weeks pregnant. I had no idea. And if I hadn't passed out, I wouldn't have known. 6 weeks would have gone by like that. So when you think about the reality of our lives, this is a very, very basic, fundamental right to reproductive justice that is absolutely a political issue because politicians have made it so, which means it's an elections issue, which means it's an open source voting systems issue, because women's rights are human rights, and human rights can only be guaranteed through voting rights. And that is why we have to continue to make the connection. Every single time, no matter what issue you care about, no matter why you're here, your call to service, your purpose in life, the reason that you are out here on a Saturday afternoon, whatever that is that motivates you to service, none of that can be advanced in public policy unless we can secure the vote. And we have to do that through this legislation and through this effort to make sure that starting in San Francisco, where all the good things happen, as our speaker always says, listen to what we say in San Francisco, because soon enough you'll be saying it yourselves. We want to make sure that people know that open source voting systems are the way to go. Thank you all very much for all the work we've done today.
Give Christine Pelosi a big round of applause. She has always been there for us on the California program and on open source. Because this is a national issue, this is an issue absolutely everywhere. And that's why what we need, but it's also a state issue. We're here in San Francisco. San Francisco has been long taking leadership on open source, in part thanks to a couple of our speakers right here. But we also need this to happen in the state of California. We need the legislature to step up to help fund open source development. Last year he helped develop this, and he's also been a champion in multiple ways. So what I want to do is bring up somebody that is, this is mostly about actually open source, but we're also honoring our clean money champions in this meeting here. Last year, of course, we passed the California Disclose Act. After a long time, we passed the Social Media Disclose Act. We passed the net neutrality bill here in California. All of these were things that took strong leadership from Clean Money Champions. So please give a warm welcome to one of them, and one who's also led on open source last year and is leading on another one this year, Assembly Member David Chu.
Campaign, Clean Money Champion 2017-2018 for his leadership.
Good afternoon. Are we ready to protect our democracy? Yeah. All right, we ready to take back our country? Yeah. We ready to secure the vote? Yeah. Thank you all for being part of this. And let me just say, I'm so honored to partner with Clean Money Campaign. But I'm here because all of you are tremendous Clean Money champions, and we have to stand together. You know, people have lost their faith in government in recent years. We know this. In part because of the perception that politics is controlled by dirty money. And because of you, we are helping to clean up our campaigns. I was so honored to be part of the movement to ensure that we pass the Disclose Act. You know, as I was walking in here today with the sun beaming on us, I was thinking of the Justice Brandeis line that we all know about how sunlight is the greatest disinfectant of government, and that is what we're about. We're about transparency, we're about accountability. The Disclose Act movement was not an easy fight. It took a number of years, but because of the Clean Money Campaign, we prevailed, and this is why I was honored this year with several of my colleagues to introduce the next fight, which is how we ensure that we secure every vote. The Mueller report said, and I quote, at the beginning of the report, the Russian government has interfered with the 2016 election in systemic fashion. The Department of Homeland Security said that the Russian government targeted election infrastructure throughout our state electoral systems. Voters are losing faith in our electoral process because they don't know if the voting system is rigged. This is a fundamental threat to our democracy. And we know at the heart, it's actually in part a technology problem. The fact that we have proprietary systems, voting systems, that are put together by private vendors with secret software that happens to be insecure and easily hackable, that's what we're talking about. And we know what the solution is. In fact, we've known it for years. Years ago, when I served on the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, I think Brent Turner came to me and said, and others said, there is another way. We can think about open source systems. We can think about open source paper ballot voting systems that are secure and transparent, where experts in the public can actually ensure that software is safe. And so this year, I was proud to introduce, along with my colleague from Los Angeles, Miguel Santiago, a bill that this man helped us to put together called the Secure the Vote Act, AB 1784. We have a number of our colleagues who are here today. I want to thank Mr. Rob Bonta from Oakland. I want to thank Senator Scott Wiener, who I know is going to be speaking, who is our principal Senate author. I want to thank Malia Cohen for her support. It's a very simple bill. It simply says that if jurisdictions like San Francisco and Los Angeles are willing to invest in these systems, we ought to have a matching fund system from the state of California. If we're going to put our money into saying we need a clean system, we need an accountable system, the state should as well. And let me say, I enjoy, as all of us do, the rivalry between Los Angeles and San Francisco. It's not just about the Giants and the Dodgers or the Warriors and the Clippers, but it's about which of our great cities are moving forward as fast as we can to protect our democracy. Mr. Santiago and I have introduced another bill in another area around the topic of Wall Street banks and what they're not doing, and our hope is that San Francisco and LA at some point in the future will be the first cities in the country to have local public banks. But in this instance, we have teamed up yet again because our two cities have already been looking at this idea of open source paper ballot voting systems. We have moved forward research on this, but we need a little bit of an investment, and that is what this bill is about. And as I've told Miguel, my hope is if and when this bill passes, San Francisco and Los Angeles will be in a rivalry yet again to see who is going to be the first jurisdiction to actually have this online. So let me just close by saying what's important about this bill, it's not just about our cities, but it's about ensuring that California, again, is leading the way when it comes to saving our progressive democracy, ensuring that we have the reforms that we need, ensuring that we're securing our vote, ensuring that we're taking back our country, ensuring that we have the American democracy that we all stand for, and which is why we're here. So thank you. Look forward to the fight. Let's get this done.
Big round of applause to Assemblymember David Chu, joined off with AB 1784, along with Assemblymember Miguel Santiago and Marina Gonzalez. All right, so, there we go. So we are also, all of this happens with multiple, there's 120 members of the legislature, as David said, so you need multiple people who step up and champion different issues. Very, very happy to have another clean money champion here in the Assembly, and that is somebody who was a perfect voting record on all the clean money bills, was co-author of all of our different Disclose Act bills, and was also a leader and floor manager on the net neutrality bills. Please give a warm round of applause to another clean money champion, Assemblymember Rob Bonta.
Afternoon. How's everybody doing? Ready for this fight?
Yeah.
We're gonna secure the vote?
Yeah.
We're gonna get 1784 passed?
Yeah.
We are. We're gonna get it done. So I just want to say thank you. I'm Rob Bonta. I serve in the State Assembly. I'm proud to represent the great cities of Oakland and Alameda and San Leandro. I'm in my 4th term, my 7th year, and right now I'm as optimistic and hopeful as I've ever been. We've got progressive supermajorities in both houses. We've got a governor who hails from this city, where a lot of the greatest ideas that California adopts stem from, and they originate here. And I just want to thank Trent, thank the California Clean Money Campaign for all your efforts to make our elections and our voting systems fairer and more open and more transparent. And you know, AB 1784 is going to be absolutely critical as we move forward to make sure we have publicly owned, open source paper ballots. You know, we all know that the cornerstone of our democracy is the fundamental right to vote. And voters deserve to know that their vote will be counted and that it won't be changed or altered. It's pretty simple. But voters don't have that confidence and that trust today. And we need to restore that. How do we do that? With voting systems that are secure, with integrity in our election system, with voting systems that are accountable, and transparent and open. And that will earn the trust back from our voters. So AB 1784 is something that's going to get us there. And I want to thank Member David Chu and all the co-authors for your tremendous leadership. Scott Wiener coming in. Give it up to Scott. And, you know, there's many pieces to this effort. I was really proud to be part of the California Disclose Act, so we know who pays for campaign ads. That's pretty simple too, but it's powerful, and we have that now, and that's important. I'm also authoring a bill to reform our local redistricting process. There's no real rules around it. We need to make sure that our vulnerable communities, our disadvantaged communities, our communities of color have a voice in elections, that they are not, that their vote is not diluted, that the communities of interest are not gerrymandered and split and separated, and that's what our local redistricting reform bill will do. And I was really pleased to be part of the incredible fight that I saw, you know, from inside on many meetings, and you know, this was a bill that we thought was dead before it came back again, and thought it was dead again, and it came back again. And the person that helped make that happen was Senator Scott Wiener on net neutrality in the state of California. I just want to thank you for your leadership. So, you know, in California, there's a phrase in politics: as California goes, so goes the nation. That's a really important phrase to be something I take to heart. I've always been proud to be Californian, but now more than ever, what we do here is being looked on by the nation, by other states, and by the world. And it's because we push for our values of opportunity and equity and justice and inclusion. And AB 1784 is a critical part of that legacy. So let's secure the vote, let's get it done. Thank you.
Big round of applause to Assembly Member Rob Bonta, a Clean Money Champion from last year, and showing a good pace to be a Clean Money Champion this year. As you said, as we've seen, there are multiple bills. Open source is an absolutely crucial issue. We're working on, we had to pass the California Disclose Act last year. We have 3 different Disclose Act bills this year, as well, SB 47, the Petition Disclose Act, SB 636, the Ballot Disclose Act, and AB 1217, the Issue Ad Disclose Act. We're moving on those, but we absolutely need to have solid net neutrality. We also and open source. So that's why I'm so thrilled to have here our 3rd Clean Money champion here in the North, in the Bay Area. Somehow you guys elect them right, I would say. They know how to take care of money and politics issues and fair elections issues. Please, for his leadership on the Disclose Act, for his leadership on all clean money bills, his leadership on net neutrality, and for open source last year and this year, please give a warm round of applause to Senator Scott Wiener.
Here's the last of the beautiful Crystal.
Thank you. How is everyone doing today? Good. It's a beautiful day. So I want to, just from the bottom of my heart, say thank you to Trent and to the Clean Money Campaign for standing with us every step of the way on net neutrality. And this organization, that was a hard fight. And yes, it's caught up in the courts now, and this is going to be a huge national fight to make sure that we protect access to the internet and that we get to go where we want to go on the internet instead of having big corporations tell us where we're allowed to go. That's what net neutrality is about. And it seems like it's a joke. How can anyone tell us where to go on the internet? But it's real, and we need to stop it. And last year, it was fighting with against all the big telecom and cable companies. These are some of the biggest corporations in the U.S. They are powerful. They have limitless resources to run campaigns, and they just spent enormous amounts of money to try to kill this bill last year, SB 822. And it was a hard fight, but I'll tell you, we had a lot of grassroots support, but there was no organization on the level of California Clean Money Campaign in terms of just turning out people and activists, walking the halls of the Capitol to lobby, doing major online campaigns, calling into members' offices, and this organization helped make it really impossible for any Democrat in particular to not support this bill, because you showed where the people were, and the people want to protect an open internet. So thank you so much for partnering with us to get that bill across the finish line and signed into law by Governor Brown. So let's hear for net neutrality. But we know that the fight for transparency and openness, it cuts across a lot of different areas. Yes, it's about net neutrality, but it is also about our voting systems. And it is also about knowing who is paying for political ads. And as long as the Supreme Court has said, this terrible Citizens United case, that corporations have somehow in this magic world that we live in, this alternate universe, that corporations are the same as people when it comes to free speech, and we're seeing that fetishization of corporate free speech sort of move around and spread, and it's awful. But that's the law right now. So until we can change that law and drain the swamp, we need to make sure that people at least know who is behind different campaign ads. No more of this secrecy, which is really so opposite of what a democracy is about. And so all of the various Disclose Acts, and you all have been just so tenacious. I remember before I was probably even on the Board of Supervisors, this campaign was underway. It took a long time, but we got it done, you got it done, and we're going to keep going. And now we have to make sure that our voting systems are open, transparent, and that we can have confidence in election results. Because, I remember growing up, you always just assumed you got the election results, and those were the results. And this was the United States of America, so the results were going to be, accurately counted, and you could just take that to the bank. What we've learned over the last 20 years, that not only are our voting systems not as good as we thought, or at least some of us as kids assumed that they were, but we also know that there are nefarious forces at work. And I don't mean to sound like a conspiracy theorist, because we know that there are nefarious forces at work. It's not even disputed. And so we need to make sure that our systems are safe. And so thank you for that work. So let's keep on fighting, and let's get it done. Let's have a truly open and transparent democracy in California and across the nation. And again, thank you so much for this recognition. Thank you.
Please round of applause to Senator Scott Wiener, Principal Co-op Champion. Okay, so what we're going to do right now, we have a few other great elected speakers to do, but we want to get a group photo while Senator Wiener and Assemblymember Bonta are still here. Looks like Assemblymember Chu had to leave.
He's interviewing, he'll come back.
Oh, he'll come back, okay. Well then, if he's interviewing, then let me bring up our next speaker. Because we want him in the photo. So, I'm going to, now I am very pleased. One of the reasons why San Francisco is in position to take advantage of AB 1784 and has already started to start building its open source system is the leadership of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. That is absolutely crucial, and the person last year who really made it happen, and in terms of getting the first $1.55 million to allocate this, and that this is 100% true, she made it happen. Former San Francisco budget chair, former San Francisco board president, and now current Board of Equalization member, Malia Cohen.
Been sitting here listening to my friends, my colleagues talk about what brings them to this fight. I just want to take a moment and just share with you personally why I'm here. Because the reality is that this is a real battle. I don't know why other people don't get it, but to me it's just so simple. When I was a candidate running for supervisor, this was 9 years ago, I met Brent. Now you all know Brent Turner. Love him or hate him, this is a committed man. And he was schooling me when we were actually in San Mateo. I don't remember why I was in San Mateo, but I was in San Mateo. And he was talking to me about fair and clean elections. And long story short, I became elected. I'm a member of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. I've come and I've done my time, and now I'm chair of the State Board of Equalization. But what still has been planted in me is the importance of fairness and transparency, no matter what issue we're talking about. If it's about finance, if it's about elections, if it's about the election process, if it's about truth in advertisement. This is something that's been a part of me and my core values. And ladies and gentlemen, core values don't change. Issues do. I would imagine that everyone in this room cares about fairness and transparency. I want to take a moment and I want to recognize and uplift all of the volunteers that make this happen. Trent, you are amazing. This is a man that truly empowered me, he educated me, and gave me the resources that I need that I could carry on that battle and get that $1.55 million allocated. And that is just the start. We also have Mayor Breed that is on board, that is moving with us to move this forward, and we are also continuing our conversations with Sandy Fewer, which is why he was now the chair of the Budget Committee, which is why I'm delighted to see Matt Haney here, member of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, here joining us. One thing before I leave is what I want to talk about this campaign and about this movement. What attracts me also is that this is intergenerational. You've got young and you've got old. You've got experience with inexperience. You've got white, you've got black, you have Asian, you have trans, you have cis, you have Latino, you have Pacific Islander, you have African American. You have LGBT. This is what life is about. I think this campaign is a shining example of how we continue to move forward as an inclusive community. And so everyone that can hear my voice and those that are on Facebook that are watching, I just want to say, keep up the good fight. Don't get discouraged. We are on the righteous and the right path. Thank you.
Here's what I would call She Made It Happen in San Francisco. She has started the first timeline. Want to make sure that he's. We want to do a group photo before did he take off? Oh, he's still interviewing. Okay. As soon as he's back, we'll do a group photo. Okay, so speaking of San Francisco supervisors who are going to help continue the charge, because it really is, we're here in San Francisco for lots of reasons, but one of the key reasons is, as several speakers have said, is that San Francisco is absolutely the key. We need to get state funding with AB 1784 to help make it happen. But San Francisco, which has already started, which has been working, committed on it for a long time, has to keep it coming. And so I'm very pleased to be able to introduce one of the supervisors that will be able to help make it happen, Supervisor Matt Haney.
It sounds like I'm on the hook to get this money. Is that what it sounds like? All right, well, it's good to know. This, as you heard, this really should be a simple issue, right? And I know that you all are the true believers and the ones who have gotten us to this point and have done the hard work. And thank you, Board of Equalization member Malia Cohen, for your leadership. But this should not be that hard. Corporations should not have their hands in our voting systems. There is nothing more important in our democracy than the right to vote and securing the right to vote. And we have a solution. It should be publicly owned and controlled. It should be open source and transparent. I mean, it should be paper ballots. And the fact that this isn't just already the case and already accepted everywhere, I think should be deeply concerning to all of us. I want to thank you, Trent, for your leadership. I want to thank everybody in this room. I want to thank the person who was also my guru on this issue, Brent Turner, there in the back. Give him a round of applause again, because he's also the reason why many in San Francisco are showing up for this and really fighting for this alongside you all. You know, Brent is somebody who, anytime I post anything on Facebook, I could post about homelessness, I could post about criminal justice reform, I post about housing, I post about anything. He puts a comment and says, what about secure elections? What about secure voting? I post about the Warriors, and he said, what about secure elections? What about secure voting? And then finally I said, you know what, Brent, all right, okay, I'm in. And you know, there's that saying, you know, and sometimes it's attributed to Gandhi, but it's first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. Yeah. And I don't know which stage of that we're in yet on this issue, but we're definitely past being laughed at. This is become an issue that's winning thanks to the leadership of folks like Assembly Members Bonta and Chu and Scott Weeder. Thank you for your leadership. But we know now that everything else we want to do, whether it's criminal justice reform, whether it's you know, winning and actually having a big impact on homelessness and housing, civil rights, human rights, we need to make sure first that we have secure voting systems. And so that's what I'm committed to do. I want to say that we do need to continue our leadership here in San Francisco. I'm committed and have already talked with folks about passing a resolution at the Board of Supervisors supporting the Secure Vote Act. Malia Cohen's looking at me and saying, well, show me the money. Show me the money. Pass all the resolutions you want, but show me the money. And so I see my friend from San Mateo here who's going to come up and speak as well. And we have our LA, San Francisco rivalry that Assemblymember Chu talked about. But we can't let San Mateo go before San Francisco. We got some rivalry there too. But we want to see every county, San Mateo County, step up and put money towards this and get access to matching funds, and have San Francisco step up, have Alameda County step up, and all of us. And the last thing I want to say is that thank you for all of your work in actually fighting for our democracy. I was elected to be the District 6 supervisor just this past November, thanks to some of the folks in this room, the South Beach District 6 Democratic Club. And what we saw during my election was nearly $1 million in mostly dark money come into that campaign and spent against me to defeat me. And it wasn't until months after the election that we even could see who had given that money. Because they gave to a state PAC, they gave to a local PAC, they gave to another local PAC, and they did all of these things to hide where the money was, so that the voters couldn't actually see what was going on. So keep fighting for that as well, because when people have a sense that they don't know where the money is, they don't know what's happening with our elections, whether that's the vote, or it's all these super PACs that really you know, exploit people and loopholes. Keep closing those loopholes and keep protecting our democracy. Thank you so much for all your work. It's an honor to be here. I'll go get that money now.
Give him a big supervisor, give him a big round of applause for giving us the money. The coincidence that I have Malia Cohen sitting right there, right in front of us.
She was going like this the whole time.
That's right, there we go. But this is not, we have one last elected official speaker, then we're going to take a group photo. We're here in San Francisco. San Francisco is starting to build the project. Los Angeles is building the project. Both counties would be able to take advantage of the money. Any county would actually be able to take advantage of the money. But even if a county doesn't build the system itself, all counties will be able to take advantage of it. Because it's open source, they will be able to use it and build on it for free once San Francisco, Los Angeles, any other counties build on it. And that's why it's so important to have the support of other counties that will be able to take advantage of open source. So please give a big round of applause to a supervisor representing neighboring San Mateo County, Dave Canepa.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I know one thing as an elected official, you never want to get in the way of a picture, so my comments are going to be extraordinarily brief. Everyone's mentioned Brent Turner. As many of you know, last week was Bike to Work Day, and so I thought I had some fancy socks on, but Brent put on a post, secure our election, and so motivated me to pedal faster. So thank you, Brent, for your advocacy. First of all, just a day of celebration, right? We celebrate those folks who work on the grassroots. We celebrate our elected officials in San Francisco, state of California, doing incredible things. And let us never forget, San Francisco leads. And so what San Francisco does, typically everyone follows. And so I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your advocacy. But most importantly, Trent, I want to thank you. I know it's hard walking the hallways. Sometimes people have concerns and issues, but without your concern, without your advocacy, and without your passion, none of this would happen. Thank you very much.
Big round of applause for San Mateo County Supervisor Dave Canepa. And for all of our speakers, Assemblymember David Chu, Assemblymember Rob Bonta, Senator Scott Wienert, Board of Equalization Chair Malia Cohen, and Supervisor Matt Haney. Yes. All right, so we are now going to do a big group photo, and I'm going to turn it over to our master of photos. Where is she? There's Eve right there. She's going to order you all around, even the elected officials. She's going to do it nicely, of course. So listen to her. We're going to get a great group picture.
Thank you so much. And this is for your own good. So we're going to have a few people standing in the back holding signs that say things like this. And we're going to have a few people in the front holding those such signs. If you do not want to be in the picture, it's okay. Just step off to the side or stand behind a sign.
Everybody's in the picture.
But everybody else, you can just sort of swell the crowd, as they say, and just hold a sign in front of you. That's fine too. Like, people holding signs, especially here in the back and in the front. Anybody who needs to sit down, please come and move to the front seats.
We can stand up. We can stand up right where we are.
Okay. No, actually, you're going to move in from the edges to the middle. Some people are on the edges and they need to move in.
Okay.
Close ranks, please. People on the edges, there's no way. People on the edges, move in and close the aisle, please. People on the edges, move in and close the aisle. Yeah. Everybody in the middle, move in and close the aisle.
Open source sign.
If you're on this side, take a bunch of steps Close in, folks. We're not nearly close enough. In.
Yeah, Carson's a this one, okay? Just so we break it up the monotony in the front, that's all. That's all I give.
Okay, people, you need to be really in.
We got a tunnel. We got a platform. Paid the big bucks for the platform.
Oh, careful. I know you think you're in, but you're not. Okay, that's very nice of you. When we get a chance, we'll move this left turn out of the way. Okay, so we're doing this first, okay?
Okay.
And then can we move this out of the way?
Say something on
No,
three or this
the
thing?
whole, no, it doesn't.
It's on wheels. It has wheels.
It should have wheels, but the cord is attached. Okay, great. All right, that's good, thank you. Okay, now, the people who thought they on this side, the people who thought they were in need to move in. Okay, Now you're looking over this way, hello? Hi.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, everybody
now-
look at her for the group pic.
Okay, over here.
Okay.
Somebody's jiggling me, that, ready? You want to be in the picture, sir? No. You sure? Okay, so, 5, 4, 3, don't go away, 2, don't go away. Okay, now, hang on a second. Trent, do you want them to do interesting things?
Yeah, they're thumbs up for people who can do thumbs up.
Okay, thumbs up, but not in front of somebody's nose. Okay, don't go away. Hold your sign straight. Okay, now, if you want to do a thumbs up, that's okay. That's okay, or like a, Trent, you like a thumbs up or a number 1?
Thumbs up is good. We'll just stick with thumbs up.
All right, we're sticking with thumbs up. And is there any other special effect you want, sir? Trent?
What?
Is there any other special effect you want?
That's good. Just
Okay, now look like you're actually enthusiastic. Yay! Keep going. Yay!
Victory for secure elections!
Good job. All right, thank you so much, people.
All right.
All right, thank you.
That's probably the hard part. That's actually kind of huge. Hey, Malia, you win.
All right.
Want to see it?
Nancy, how long do you want me to do this?
Okay, we are not leaving unless we're allowing our elected officials to leave.
Released.
No, you do not have to.
Oh, hi.
Whatever I can do.
You're an elected official, right?
I am.
Well, shouldn't you be up there? Or,
I guess so.
but you don't have a dress code.
No, it's Saturday.
That's what I like.
That's right, yeah. Today was a graduation day. Yeah.
That's what I like about California.
And then you're doing yours? Okay, tell me
You
when you're all done.
you don't have to wear a suit.
Yeah, yeah. No, Saturday would be like nice weather.
What was it? Can everybody come upstairs?
We have a total of 6 people at maximum looking at drive streams. I mean, that's 6 at one time.
Yes, we're happy.
Good job.
Okay, everybody, we're about ready to vote for next. All right, everybody. Thank you for that group photo. Looks so we had while they're leaving, before they go, big round of applause to board Supervisor Malia Cohen, who got us money as she's going out the door. Supervisor Danica, who's going to help us in supporting Secretary County. All right, so the only way that we get this open source passed, thank you. The only way that we get open source passed, in addition to the leadership of our elected officials, both at the legislative level and at the county supervisor level, is with our coalition partners. You can see David read off the long list of co-sponsors of this event. The only way it passes is because multiple organizations support and care about it. So first, I'm going to bring up one of our longest and truest partners in everything that the California Clean Money Campaign does, especially in campaign finance, especially with the Disclose Act, with redistricting, that's their bill, and public financing of campaigns. It has been California Common Cause. They're also supporters of open source paper ballot voting. So please give a warm welcome to Helen Brico of California Common Cause.
I just want to say how honored I am to work with Common Cause. This organization started in 1970. It's nonpartisan, it's a nonprofit, and it was the idea that if all these special interests had a lobby, why don't the citizens have their own lobby? So Common Cause is a citizens lobby, and we work on the nuts and bolts of democracy. So we want to improve voting, and we want to get publicly financed campaigns, and we want to stop gerrymandering, and we want to protect our voting system. A couple of stories that I want to tell. One, I was 15 years old, I'm from New York, I was working at Howard Johnson's and serving up ice cream, and it was 1969. The Vietnam War, of course, was on, and there was a woman I was working with. I remember she drove this like magnificent yellow Corvette, but she lost her husband during the war, and it was very politicizing for me about what was going on and why things needed to change. What was Common Cause doing at that time? You know, as soon as it got instituted, it changed the voting age down to 18, because if you're going to have to go and die in a war, you should be able to vote whether you want to be part of it. I came on, right? I came on to Common Cause in 2010, in my 9th year, and one of the things we worked on was a lot of voting reform. So we have online voter registration, we have same-day voter registration, and we opened up voting, you know, for youth. It's incredible. I also want to say, just a personal note, my dad was a World War II vet. He fought in Okinawa, and it really did destroy his life. I lost him when I was 21 years old. He died in a VA hospital in Manhattan. And I think my dad gave his life for this. You know, this is why I didn't get a father. You know, I want a refund, or I got to speak to somebody. So I've dedicated my time to work educating the next generation. So I just want to say, Common Cause is an amazing organization. I'm happy to be part of it. Our personal lives are touched by this, our political lives are touched by this. And I just want to do a quick chant, because I have 30 seconds left. And I want everybody to chant with me: no secrets, open source, no secrets, paper ballots. Ready? No secrets, open source, no secrets, paper ballots. No secrets, open source, no secrets, paper ballots. Exactly. So thank you for all the wonderful comments today.
All right, thank you, Helen. Give a big round of applause to Helen. California Common Cause. Train station. Okay, so next,